This is Michael Orl with MobileBurn.com, and this is part 2 of our look at the Samsung Wave, the company's first BOTA powered device. Starting off here in the browser, showing you the built-in flash support. Flash support's disabled by default, probably for good reason. It hasn't been really, hasn't behaved all that well, I guess you could say. I actually had the phone totally crash on me once, and I had to yank the battery just to get control. It's also very difficult to start the embedded flash videos like this. So it's there, it's just not great. Back in the contacts application, because I want to show you something here. We've got right here some contacts pulled up, John Doe in particular, and you can swipe on the contact to do things. If I swipe left, it sends John Doe a text message, and if I swipe right, it initiates a call, which is kind of cool. If I jump into the call log, you'll see some additional swipe gestures. You notice over here, top of the tabs, there's a little bit of a glow on this edge. It means there are more tabs that you can drag back and forth to. Notice it's glowing on both sides here. It means there's tabs on the left and right, just on the right, and just on the left. Pretty intuitive. One of the features of the Wave that people are excited about is its mobile hotspot capability. You can use Wi-Fi in the phone to turn the phone into basically a 3G MiFi type hotspot. If you enable it, it disables Wi-Fi for the phone itself though. But now that we have the mobile access point enabled, you'll be able to see that it'll show up on a Wi-Fi scan from a laptop. And there you can see it, Samsung Wave S8500 showing up on my laptop. I just tap on the little green indicator there to disable it again. And you can see Wi-Fi is coming back up. Also worth noting that there's Bluetooth 3.0 support on this device. It's the first device I've used with 3.0. This is the music app on the Wave. You can see it doesn't seem to support album art correctly. If I go into horizontal mode here, you see this scrolling CD look, and you can play the particular tracks you want. But the odd thing is, album art seems to work for the individual tracks, so I'm not exactly sure what's going wrong here. I used Windows Media Player to sync it through the MTP protocol. In general though, the application seems quite nice. I'm going to give you a quick look at gaming on the device. This is Asphalt 5 by Gameloft. It uses the built-in orientation sensors to steer. Here's the car, and it's not all that simple to control, but it is kind of cool and it really looks fantastic. And let's crash. There is IM support of sorts. There's a Palringo client, which means you have to sign up for a Palringo first before you can actually connect to any of your other instant messaging accounts. So what else we have here is a memo pad. Go back again. You'll notice when I press the menu button, it always takes you back to the last panel of the menu that you were at. Daily briefing. This is kind of like what we saw in the Galaxy S, I suppose. It allows you to get stock quotes and weather information and news for a bunch of different things. It's kind of widget based, but not on the home screen itself. So you can see I was able to move back and forth to different cities. I can swipe over to move to a different panel and get stock quotes. There's AP mobile news as well. Not sure what's on the fourth panel. I think it's calendar. Right, and there's nothing on today's schedule. And here it is as a home screen widget. It looks a little bit different. Assuming we can tap on one and it'll launch the application on the appropriate panel, which is what it does. So you can skip directly to news or whatever like that. Makes it a little more useful. I'm going to pop into the Samsung Apps application. Unfortunately, there's no application support for the US market right now, so I can't even test download an application. There's really nothing I can do whatsoever. On top of that, I've also had a great deal of problems with the Keys application. It's the new version of PC Studio from Samsung basically. It fails to recognize the device on my Windows 7 machine, which is 64-bit. It says it doesn't support that, so I get that. It also doesn't work on XP 32-bit on my laptop though. It's a mini diary application. You just put in random entries, attach photos to it, whatever you want. It's built-in navigation, GPS based of course. And it's going to take a long time to pick up a satellite position though, I think. Because we are most certainly not in Africa. The phone's having a lot of difficulty picking up a GPS signal inside the house, so I'm just going to try to move through and show you some of the things. You can see there's multi-touch zooming. You can save routes, create routes. Right now it's downloading the map information online. That's probably one of the things that's slowing us down. A lot of options in this, a tremendous number of options. So it looks pretty nice, but so far I've been unable to test it. Other cool features of the device include DivX video playback, FM radio. Of course, you're going to need the headphones attached for that. Voice recorder. Tasks. YouTube is just a link to the YouTube website, not all that interesting. Here's a very basic calculator. Here's the media browser. And like some other Samsung devices, you can tilt it to scroll through the images. I never found that to be useful though. It always seems to do it when I don't want to. And here's the clock. Got a bunch of different functions. Timers, stopwatch, world time. You can define multiple cities, and then of course regular clock alarms. So I'm going to show you some of the DivX video support here. This is actually part one of this video. I've just copied the DivX AVI directly over to the phone's card. And you see it looks really, really nice. Very sharp, smooth, good colors coming through. So while I've been pretty pleased with Bada overall, there have been a couple of weird things I don't like. I don't like how profile support's handled. I'm not exactly sure what I'm changing right now in terms of volume, because even when I set it to 0, I still get notifications of new email messages coming through. It appears that you have to jump into this profile settings here to switch actual profiles, to put it into silent. And then once you've done so, it just vibrated showing that it's in silent. Once you've done so, it tells you have to exit silent mode first before you can do anything with the volume control. Just counterintuitive. There's the previously mentioned RAM issues, of course. And one of the things, when you hook it up to a USB port on a computer or something like that, you have to be at the home screen here. And it's kind of odd, and I've had times when applications have been killed off, including the widgets, and then everything disappears on the home screen. Again, when I booted up the machine, my home screens were blank, so you notice that's why they look different than they did in the prior video. So there's some really quirky behavior in the device. Some nice things, the drag down thing, very Android-like, works very well. I like that you can just uninstall an application by clicking on the minus button, just as if you would, say, killing a task. You also have to be careful, though, that you don't accidentally, when trying to select something, you end it instead. And then you'll notice that all the applications or all the widgets on the home screen are once again gone, and you have to manually set them up again. It doesn't save them. So really, really strange behavior there. But overall, I've liked what I've seen. Good video support. The 720p HD video looks really nice. The camera takes pretty nice pictures. The Super AMOLED display is really slick. Form factor is good. It's rated for being up to 8.5 hours of talk time, and I think just over 18 days of standby time off from the 1500 milliamp hour battery, which seems pretty decent. Reception's a little bit weak on the US bands, but it's not been tweaked to work optimally here, I guess. I've had Wi-Fi on and the really poor reception down here in the area anyway, and still managed to get a solid 24 hours out of the device. So it looks like battery life's not going to be too much of an issue on this phone. But there's our first look at the Samsung S8500 Wave, Samsung's first BOTA smartphone. I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.